Hello everyone and welcome back. So we have another video by DC10. I know I criticized him a lot in the last battle he sent, so let's see if he does any better in this one. Okay, let's look at the setups. A lot of bows here, I noticed right off the bat. 5 bow Ashigaru, a matchlock warrior monk, 5 katana samurai, let's see, 2 Yari samurai, and then off in the woods over here, kind of crabbing, we have 3 Naginata warrior monk cavalry. Interesting, never seen those before. And meanwhile, the enemy, a matchlock Ashigaru, 2 Nodachi Samurai, a Naginata Warrior Monk Hero. Let's see, the cavalry is a Naginata Cavalry, a Yari Cavalry, and 2 Great Guard. And then over here we have 2 Katana Samurai and a Warrior Nun. So a lot of the DLC units coming in. I've never seen them before, this will be the first time. So let's jump right in. I'm pretty sure this is a DLC map. It looks kind of familiar, but its name is like Sanriku Ria, and I don't really recognize that. So I think this is a new one. I don't recognize the building layout, but pretty simple. Pretty similar to Slumbering Settlement with the 2 tree lines on the sides. Make for good crab activity. So people are just going to kind of walk up in the beginning and capture the buildings. I guess I'll just fast forward. So since they both have mainly white banners, I'm going to call DC10 blue, and I'm going to call this guy purple. Not sure what you call that color. I'm calling it purple. Anyway, they're moving up to capture the buildings. This is the sword dojo on purple's side, and that's probably going to be a lot better than the archery dojo. Though at least blue can make good use of the archery dojo with 5 bow Ashigaru and a matchlock warrior monk. So not too bad. I think I'd rather have the sword dojo, but nonetheless, you gotta take what you get. This is pretty a little unbalanced maybe. One side gets the sword dojo closest to them, and the other gets the farmhouse. Like really? Like one side gets the worst capturable building, and the other one gets one of the best. That seems a little silly in my opinion, but whatever. But at least he's going to get 2 buildings, being in a little better position to capture the archery dojo. We see Blue's cavalry kind of crabbing up here on the left. I'll go back to fast forwarding. And this battle was really interesting how it played out. It was very, very complicated. I'll do my best to try and hit every point that happens, but it was a very complicated battle. You had to think on your feet a lot, and so I think DC10 did a good job of going with the flow and being flexible. So let's see. Look how close. Whoa. Got really sensitive. Alright, look how close his cavalry is going to get before they get discovered. They're still hidden? Nope. They just stopped being hidden. And look, they're going to be right here next to the enemy's units. They can just run out and get a nice little ambush just out of nowhere. Don't think purple saw that coming. But and right into the Naginata monk hero. But the charge is going to kill any of them. I don't think this one does either. So okay usage of the crab, but the problem is there's just no way he's going to do that much damage to the enemy with a spear hero here. Look, charging heroes is just generally not a good idea unless it's a bow hero, because you won't kill any of them. Even katana heroes, you might kill like one of them in a full charge. So trying to crab and hit heroes doesn't really work too well. Also, there were just so many cavalry over here, and high quality ones too. Great Guard and Yari Cavalry and Naginata Cavalry. Blue's just kind of throwing his cavalry away at this point. And he had no chance of winning this side of the battle unless he got some units up, which he does. He does have some units, but they're mostly, 2 bows. He has a Yari Samurai here, and if he would have advanced rapidly up here and gotten into the cavalry fight, he could have seriously hurt Purple's cavalry. But he just kind of leaves his cavalry here to die. Not very good. Maybe he was just waiting on it, hoping he would just come into the Yaris, but his Yaris aren't in a very good position. They're here behind the bows, so they're just going to run into the bows, and the Yaris won't really be able to protect them. See, there we go. Now, he may have been using them to like lessen a charge, but you don't really need to block a charge when it comes to Yari Samurai. Okay, now his bow monks, or his matchlock monks are shooting, but look at the firing angle. It looked so good. You really need to look at your firing angles, because it looked so good from here, right? It looks pretty flat, but if you zoom in, look at this hill blocking half the unit. Only this one really has anything resembling a shot. And, okay, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, you know, it's kind of cheap for him to put him behind his infantry. And yeah, that's what I was thinking too, but he's going to do good here and move him to a clear firing position. So, good job on that, being sportsmanlike. And actually having to risk your matchlock monks. And he will risk them, and it won't go so well for him. But meanwhile, I need to talk about this side. So this battle ended up being sort of a two-pronged battle. There was one chunk over here and one chunk fighting over here. So it would come down to who would destroy their chunk faster and be able to overwhelm the other one. So let's see. Purple only has 3 units over here facing Blue's 4 elite Katana Samurai. So Blue's definitely going to win over here. Unless the general comes in and causes some hijinks, or this veteran matchlock Ashigaru. It looks like Blue will win on the right, but Purple has the definite advantage on the left. See, he had to put his matchlocks out here in the open. Good for him for doing that, but it is a risk, and they are going to get hit by cavalry. So not really going to get very many shots off before they get obliterated. Meanwhile, the general's going to come in and tie down the bows. Good move on Purple's part, because his matchlock Ashigaru were getting ripped up by the bows. So we have wavering over there already, and Purple's forces are actually holding quite strong over here. Despite the huge infantry advantage that Blue has, he's just not killing them very quickly. Let's see, where's Blue's general? Hold on, let me find him. He's got to be around here somewhere. Did he join the fight over here? No, where is Blue's general? That's interesting. It's hard to find him because there's wavering all over. I wonder if he's even in the general area. I don't know. But meanwhile, it looks like Blue's chunk on the left here is finally broken. All that's left is this Yari Samurai that's going to try and come up and oh, there he is. He's going to try and come up and hit the cavalry. But Blue's general, don't know what he was doing. What I probably would have done with the general is kept him safe over here by this chunk instead of keeping him kind of in the middle. Because this chunk on the left was going to lose. It was pretty obvious of that. So there's no point in trying to, like, save it. So I would put all my efforts over here, like inspired a unit, then charging and hitting these guys from all over, even his general, who's pretty exposed to a rear charge here. I would have my general over here trying to win this chunk as fast as possible and just hoping this one on the left can just hold out as long as possible. But Blue's going to send his general with the matchlocks, which is a good idea to tie him down, but I don't think you need to worry about the matchlocks because, again, firing angle, look at this. Look at that firing angle. You can't shoot anything from there. So I would have just let him shoot into the hill there. Only maybe a third of the unit actually had a clear shot. So I wouldn't have worried about them at all. Because it's going to put his general in a lot of danger. Now the cavalry is freed up. Blue's general is tied down. Only has 9 men left in the unit. And the cavalry over here is going to come and clean him up. So pretty sloppy general usage there. He's just, yeah, he's dead already and wavering. But luckily, he did use a rally before he died. So this chunk is rallied, and their morale is still in the green. So they're still good to go. Battle's not over yet. The general over here is unfortunately a melee general. So they're going to have to try and swarm and kill him as fast as possible. He's down to 25 men still. No spears in the immediate vicinity, I believe. So, and plus, if he's a melee general, he probably has the no penalty anyway. So it's going to be tough to kill this guy. But one thing that Blue does have the advantage is he still has a pretty big infantry advantage. Over here, it is a Naginata hero and a Nodachi. So the Naginata hero is pretty dangerous, but the Naginata hero is not very good, to be honest. So I still give the advantage to Blue, who has all these katanas still. He still does have a Yari, or no, what is this? Yeah, a Yari Samurai. But meanwhile, we have some breaking. The general for Blue managed to stand long enough for the Yari Samurai to get in and start killing the cavalry, so all of Purple's cavalry are gone. And quite a turn of events. It looked pretty bad there for Blue, but he managed to scramble defense together and managed to rout most of Purple's units. Now he only has 3. Just this Nodachi and the Naginata hero. However, the Naginata hero is at 24 men still out of 30, so battle's not quite won yet, and his general's dead. So if Purple can manage to pin down his units and then charge from the rear of the general, this could be over. The rally has worn off, so now they're all in the yellow, and some are even in the red. Well, I just jumped back to yellow. So Purple's not going to do a very good job here capitalizing on this. He really needs to get a charge in from the rear before these guys break, and in fact one just did. Even with the general alive, numbers are a big part of morale. That's why Blue's morale is still pretty good. Just because he has the locally superior force. I think that's what it's called. If you look, it doesn't really say it here, but I've seen it before. And if you have more numbers in the area, it's really good for your morale. So the Nodachi just broke really fast, so purple really has to get a charge off quickly if he wants to win this battle. The Naginatas are getting cut. They're down to 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. I mean, the Naginata hero apparently having not very good defense at all. I'm not sure what use he's supposed to have. I don't get it, because he just kind of got destroyed here. I mean, I've seen Katana heroes stand against swarms of Katana Samurai and last pretty long while doing a lot of damage, but these Naginata heroes just got cut down, so doesn't look like that's a very good unit. Maybe I wouldn't recommend it. So let's see, I think, were they wavering? Nope, they're still here in the yellow, but they are down to 2 men wavering now. The general's down to 17, so blue has us firmly in control. Just got to kill the general. Let's see, maybe if I were purple, I would have pulled out and dismounted and then like inspired myself and tried to go in on foot. But regardless, it was pretty much over anyway. Down to 11. Let's zoom in a little more. Let's just check it out. Oh, was that it? Was that the end of the battle? I think he just routed. Yep, he just routed. So blue pulled out a victory there. It was looking really bad for him. The early crab action wasn't too well executed. Should have been more prepared. And had a Yari Samurai ready to advance rapidly and run up into that cavalry horde and try and cut down as many as possible. Or at least hold them down to get the matchlocks into position or something. But did okay on the right side, managed to swarm him from all over. But the general usage was pretty sloppy too. Running him into the matchlocks when they had such a bad firing angle was a bad decision. And it just got him pinned down, and then when the left chunk broke, his cavalry was able to come up and just sweep his general off the field. So, not too good on some aspects, but he did okay. He recovered well, was pretty flexible, remembered to rally before the general died, and just went with the flow, which is the most important thing. If you can react to situations, even if you make bad decisions early on, you can come back from it. So, did a good enough job to win this battle, so a lot better, I think. So, good job there, DC10, and thanks for watching, everybody. Last pretty long while doing a lot of damage, but these Naginata heroes just got cut down, so doesn't look like that's a very good unit. Maybe I wouldn't recommend it. So let's see, I think, were they wavering? Nope, they're still here in the yellow, but they are down to 2 men wavering now. The general's down to 17, so blue has us firmly in control. Just got to kill the general. Let's see, maybe if I were purple, I would have pulled out and dismounted and then like inspired myself and tried to go in on foot. But regardless, it was pretty much over anyway. Down to 11. Let's zoom in a little more. Let's just check it out. Oh, was that it? Was that the end of the battle? I think he just routed. Yep, he just routed. So blue pulled out a victory there. It was looking really bad for him. The early crab action wasn't too well executed. Should have been more prepared. And had a Yari Samurai ready to advance rapidly and run up into that cavalry horde and try and cut down as many as possible. Or at least hold them down to get the matchlocks into position or something. But did okay on the right side, managed to swarm him from all over. But the general usage was pretty sloppy too. Running him into the matchlocks when they had such a bad firing angle was a bad decision. And it just got him pinned down, and then when the left chunk broke, his cavalry was able to come up and just sweep his general off the field. So, not too good on some aspects, but he did okay. He recovered well, was pretty flexible, remembered to rally before the general died. And just went with the flow, which is the most important thing. If you can react to situations, even if you make bad decisions early on, you can come back from it. So, did a good enough job to win this battle, so a lot better, I think. So, good job there, DC10, and thanks for watching, everybody.